Hi guys, Vanessa here and welcome to Passport Pages. And today I'm counting down my first ever top 10 adults only resorts in Jamaica. A couple of years ago I did a top 10 all-inclusives in Jamaica, but I've never focused on just adults only properties. And I honestly think this is my best Jamaica list ever, with a wonderful mix of high quality big brand properties, small and intimate boutique spots, and everything in between. And I'm super excited to share it with you all, so let's jump in. At number 10, let's begin with Ocean Eden Bay. Located in the Trelawney area, this is a relatively new property which opened the very beginning of 2022 and is the adults-only sister property to the family-friendly Ocean Coral Spring Resort. So let's jump right into the pros and cons. The location isn't the most convenient. You're about an hour from Ocho Rios, but if you're looking for a relaxing atmosphere, its more isolated location definitely helps with that. It's also a great first impression resort with a beautiful modern lobby with a bar in the middle. Staff checks you in very quickly and you're whisked off to your room on a golf cart. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on the rooms here, but I personally recommend the Privileged Junior Suite rooftop option, which is really modern and roomy with great views, has an outdoor hot tub, just very nice. I've heard a lot of negative things about the ground floor rooms, especially the swim up ones, having bugs and critters. I can't confirm, but just wanted to mention that. Outside, the pools and beach are very nice, the sand is cleaned very regularly, and the swimming here is great. Some cons. The room is supposed to be restocked daily, and based on supply, some days they didn't restock the water bottles. And the same occurred with some of the meal options in the restaurants. They were out of some offerings, and it seems that occurs no matter when you visit. But the food they did have was good, with the steak being a highlight. I will give this place the benefit of the doubt. While not brand new, it is still relatively new and opened during a very difficult time, so maybe they're still working some supply issues and things out, who knows. But I always like to be transparent with you all, and though it be a very attractive property, these little hiccups are why it comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Bahia Principe Luxury Runaway Bay, located about an hour from Montego Bay and 45 minutes from Ocho Rios on the northern coast. This is another adults-only sister property with a family-friendly location next door. And when you arrive, you'll notice this is a much livelier property. You have noise from next door as well as music from the pool. More on that later, but I promised a good variety of resorts, and if you're looking for more of a fun and entertaining vibe, this is a good option. And it's big, like most Bahia resorts, with 525 rooms spread across 7 floors. And overall, they're okay. A little bit outdated, the canopy beds are very nice though, and the glass doors let a lot of light in. Just be careful which view you pick here as well, because some do overlook the road, so if you want to avoid that, book an ocean view. Outdoor amenities include a nice and big pool with 4 hot tubs and a swim-up bar, and as I was saying earlier, depending on when in the day you go, you'll encounter music that can be on the loud side, volleyball games in the pool, just a lot going on, but they have a good number of loungers and you'll find most guests spending the day here. The beach is on the smaller side. It's pretty narrow and has like a lagoon style area that's blocked from the ocean by a rock jetty, but it's still nice, and if you want a bigger one, you can always walk next door. Dining is really good here. The Jasmine restaurant is actually an adults-only buffet with Italian, Japanese, Asian fusion, and local Jamaican dishes, and interestingly has a formal dress code, although you don't see too many guests adhering to it. And the a la carte restaurants, which are all included, do require reservations, which I know a lot of guests don't like all-inclusives that require that, so definitely something to plan for. But overall, it's a very nice and even upscale property with a good pool, great food, and just a few downsides being the kids next door who you can hear, old-fashioned rooms, narrow beach, and a loud pool area, which might be a pro for some, all bringing it in at number 9. Now let's take a look at a pretty well-known resort, the adults-only all-inclusive Hyatt Solara Rose Hall, coming in at number 8. Located much more conveniently directly on Route A1, just 15 minutes from Montego Bay and the airport as well, and the property does provide free shuttle service to and from the airport, which is a nice perk. Just like the comparable locations in Punta Cana, it's a 2-resort property with the family-friendly Hyatt Ziva next door, but unlike our previous pick, this this one manages to stay pretty peaceful and quiet, and staff is even stationed to make sure kids don't come over from next door. The lobby is very nice and modern, luxurious even, and their 234 rooms are styled the same way and have a lot of unique amenities and tech like Bluetooth MP3s, well-stocked minibars which include snacks as well, and then furnished balconies or terraces which offer either partial or full ocean views. And best of all, they're very roomy and start at 500 square feet and go up from there. Very nice rooms, you guys. Outside, they just have the one pool, but it's a very nice size and never feels crowded, and you never have to fight over a lounger here either, as they have them spread out and allocated very nicely. And they offer both a pool bar and poolside service, and staff is very attentive and quick with orders. The one criticism I have of this property is the beach. It's pretty small for a property of this size, plenty of seating and shade, but definitely small and rocky as well with seaweed, so you'll see crews having to clean it up fairly often. Dining at the complex includes 11 options total between the two properties, and your inclusive rate includes drinks and dinings at both, so a really great variety. So overall, it's a very quiet and elegant property with a great location, modern and attractive spaces all around, great service and great dining variety, but if you're a beach lover and fussy about your beach experience, that could be a deal breaker. At number 7, we have the Hotel Riu Palace, Jamaica. Also located along the A1 highway, this one is just 10 minutes from the airport. And yes, occasionally you will hear planes overhead, but you can't beat the convenience. And you'll notice if you've been to Riu properties before, this place is on the smaller side for them. They kind of styled it to look like a tiny village, but you never feel crowded, which is a nice surprise. So they have 238 rooms to choose from, which again is small for a Riu, and if you've ever stayed at one before, you'll find the rooms to be very familiar with the usual white, purple, and black palette, walk-in showers, jetted tubs, mini bars, and liquor taps, which all come as standard amenities in most Riu locations. So nothing to write home about, they're your typical Riu rooms, functional but nice. A ton of dining options here 24 hours a day, plus you can eat next door at Riu Montego Bay, all included, but just know hours for each location are always different. You always have to be on top of that, and reservations are required for the specialty locations. The beach is a bit bigger than our last pick, but still on the smaller side, but they do have two pools here. The main one is of course louder and has a swim-up bar, and then they have an infinity pool which is much quieter. So overall, this is a very fun atmosphere option. The staff is much more entertaining, and guests mingle a lot more. You have many activities to choose from, convenient location, lots of dining options, with the downsides being the rooms, which are okay, your typical Riu rooms. You can hear planes above sometimes, and if you just want a property to relax and enjoy peace and quiet, might not be the best fit, bringing it in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have the adults-only all-inclusive Couples Sans Souci. Now let's head to Ocho Rios. You're right in the resort hub, but 2 hours from the Montego Bay Airport, and transfer is included, but still something to consider whether or not you want to do that drive to and from. When you arrive, you'll notice it kind of looks like an apartment complex, and that's because that's exactly how it started back in the 60s. So it still has that multi-unit design to this day, spread across 35 acres. So it's a pretty big property with a very unique lush green setting with a waterfall and hidden grotto, which really sets it apart from so many other properties on the island. And for such a big property, it surprisingly only offers 150 rooms, but they are so beautiful. Very light, bright, and airy. They didn't used to be that way, trust me, but they went through a recent $12 million refurbishment, and the result is just lovely. It really feels like a 5-star property now. The beach is in a secluded cove area, which makes it feel more private, although the beach itself is a little narrow. And yes, they do still have a second Eau Naturale beach, which is actually bigger, which is an interesting choice since far fewer guests use it, and it has its own pool as well. But if that's not your scene, they have 3 other pools that have pretty good views and pool bars, and everyone uses the main pool, and the other 2 are usually pretty empty, so something to remember if you want some quiet. 6 dining options here, and Palazzina offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner, while Bella Vista is their beachfront grill, which is open for lunch and dinner and offers food overnight. So you can grab a meal pretty much 24/7 at this property, which is very nice. Overall, this is a very nice option, you guys, but like I said, the location could be a big downside for some, maybe even a deal breaker, bringing it in at number 6. Number 5, Couples Tower Isle. Yes, another couples property, but they are some of the best in Jamaica. This one is located just outside of Ocho Rios, so again, a long shuttle ride, I know, but it's even more peaceful as it sits on a secluded beach that faces a tiny island owned by the property, which is such a special setting. And they do provide shuttles to Dunn's River and Dolphin Cove, Margaritaville, and downtown, and of course to and from the airport, which helps. If you're someone who hates big chain all-inclusives, you might actually really like this one because it's spread across a lovely 19 acres, feels elegant, has great amenities, and dates back to 1947 when Hollywood A-listers loved this place, especially in the 50s, so a very unique history to the property. Unfortunately, the 226 rooms are a bit of a letdown. If you want something that's more modern and updated like my last pick, you'll have to splurge for a villa. But all units do have mini bars and furnished balconies, and if you want the best ocean views, try to book a suite on the top floor. The main beach is very quiet and isolated due to its location, so it never gets crowded, and you rarely see vendors, which is a rarity in Jamaica. And then, of course, they have their famous private Au Natural Island, which is a 1-minute boat ride away. You also get 4 pools, and one of the main ones is bordered by the 2 dining options, while the other is close to the beach, so you get great views, and it also has a swim-up bar. Group activities aren't really a big part of the entertainment, but they do offer dance and kayaking classes as well as movie nights and piano sing-alongs at night. And don't miss out on the wellness center here, very nice, with its own plunge pool, loungers, relaxation area, and juice bar. So other than the outdated rooms, you get a really upscale, quiet, and relaxing adults-only all-inclusive property, making it one of the best couples getaways in Jamaica. Number 4, the very new Princess Senses the Mangrove. As with any newly opened resort, they have some things to iron out that could be helped with time when they find their groove, but I'm going to give you my very honest review. So, this property is located in Green Island, Jamaica, which isn't the most convenient location, but they do offer transfer if you stay at least 3 nights. As soon as you arrive, you'll find staff to be super friendly and helpful, and there's no denying the property is just beautiful, especially their 401 suites, which are very modern and attractive and begin at over 600 square feet, which is crazy, and each one has a furnished balcony. And here is where I'd like to caution you. This place is pricey, like very pricey, and the deluxe junior suites are more than nice enough, so I wouldn't recommend booking one of their 14 overwater villas. It may just be because the property is in its early days, but I've heard very mixed reviews, a lot of overpromising and under-delivering on them, so I think their lowest level suites are more than enough to have a comfortable and even luxurious stay. They're gorgeous. Also, service can be on the slow side, albeit friendly, but again, this just may be due to staff being new, but I'd allow for about 45 minutes for room service deliveries. The other downside of this property is unfortunately the beach, and that's mostly due to being in the Industrial Bay area, so a lot of seaweed and plants in the water. You definitely need water shoes, although it is very calm swimming. But let's go back to the positives. The infinity pool is lovely and a good size, and they have great poolside service, very attentive. Dining is some of the best on this list, so many options, and all very high quality, especially the specialty restaurants, and the Pearl Seafood Restaurant has such a nice atmosphere for a romantic evening. So again, the main downsides here are the location, beach, and the price. It's up there, but this place is brand new and still working on some things. Literally, there was a bit of construction going on, but I think it has potential to be one of the best on the island, with great service, food, and easily one of the top 3 most attractive properties in Jamaica. Number 3, Excellence Oyster Bay. Located in Trelawney Parish, just 40 minutes from Montego Bay, so not too bad a drive, this property has a very unique setting in that not only does it sit on a peninsula, but it's also surrounded by mangrove trees and a bioluminescent bay, and your surroundings make you feel like you truly escaped away from it all. The rooms are very attractive and modern with great beds, and all rooms come with daily restocked minibars, 24-hour room service, and even turn-down service. Dining and drinking are wonderful, some of the best inclusive dining. Reservations aren't necessary, but just take note that dress code is enforced a bit more than some of the other properties we've talked about, but really nice atmosphere at most of the restaurants, especially if you're celebrating a special occasion. The beach is very nice and for the most part stays seaweed-free. You have plenty of loungers and beachside wait staff is really on their game, making sure everyone is well taken care of. And the same can be said of the pool, which has plenty of in-water and poolside loungers, and the wait staff here is wonderful as well, bringing both drinks and snacks. The one minor gripe with this resort is that airport transfer is not included, but can definitely be arranged through their concierge services. And I'll also say, in the name of complete transparency, it is the weakest of the Excellence properties and their portfolio, but nonetheless one of the best in Jamaica, so do with that what you will. But if you're looking for a luxury, adults-only all-inclusive in Jamaica, it's a very strong option, bringing it in at number 3. At number 2, we have a new property for the channel, not new in itself, but new for passport pages, and that's Tensing Pen. Located on the west end of Negril, it sits the better part of 2 hours from the Montego Bay Airport, but so worth it in this case for the unobstructed views you get. Plus, you're just 10 minutes from 7 Mile Beach. The vibe here is very relaxed and peaceful, and the 28 rooms are housed in 22 cottages, which are so cozy and charming with 4-poster beds and furnished balconies or patios, although no TVs, all part of the getting away from it all vibe here, but free Wi-Fi is included. Outdoors, there's no traditional beach, but you could climb down the ladders that have been built into a lot of these Negril cliffs to get into the water that way. Plus, they also have a small but lovely pool surrounded by loungers that offers beautiful views of the water below as well. And while this isn't an all-inclusive, continental breakfast is included and offers a nice assortment of cereals, pastries, fruit and yogurt, and coffee and tea is included at no extra cost 24 hours a day in their lodge restaurant, which is also very good, although surprisingly usually pretty empty at dinner, as guests like to go and have dinner elsewhere in Negril while doing a bit of exploring. A couple of potential issues I'd like to mention that could be negatives for some. This is one of those properties that only allows guests 12 and up, so younger children are not allowed, which is why it's classified as adults only. But if you're someone who's looking for a property without even any teenagers allowed, that could be a deal breaker. With that being said, most guests are couples in their 30s and up, so the chances are small that you'll encounter that during your stay. Also, they have 3 pretty big dogs on site that roam the grounds, very sweet and friendly, but if you're someone who doesn't like dogs or are maybe allergic, another potential negative. Personally, I'll say I've been wanting to try this place for a while because it's won so many awards and accolades, and it really does live up to the hype. So, with the exception of the more lax ages for adult guests, no TV or beach, and the long drive to get there, I know it sounds like a lot of negatives, but the incredible views and sunsets, good food, lovely rooms, and even reasonable rates more than make up for it and make for a lovely and relaxing stay in Jamaica. Let's stay in Negril for my number 1 pick, the Cliff Hotel, also known as the Cliff Negril. This place is spectacular in every possible way, perched on a 5-acre bluff in the westernmost part of the island, and interestingly, it sits far back in the cliff in a very serene location where you don't hear any road noise, but you're still a short drive away from Rick's Cafe and a lot of other bars, shops, and restaurants. It's a very modern and lovely property with a big open-air lobby where you'll check in and find concierge, and even a tour desk for excursion booking, and the lobby seating area lets you relax and take in the views of the pool, gardens, and cliffs. Easily one of the best lobbies in Jamaica. Then you'll follow a double staircase where you'll find your suite, which begins with a 480 square foot suite, which have ocean-facing windows, furnished verandas, and walk-in showers, and go all the way up to 720 square feet, 1-bedroom suites. But the junior suites are more than enough space for 2 people, and if you're traveling as a larger group or family, they have villas as well, which come with full kitchens and butler service. The freeform pool here is my favorite on this list, very chic with 2 levels and bridges, sunken loungers, a swim-up bar, and great ocean views. And while again, due to its cliff-top location, there isn't an on-site beach, they do offer a shuttle for a fee, and on-site activities include yoga classes, snorkeling excursions, cliff jumping, and a spa with indoor and outdoor treatments. Dining at Zest Restaurant is wonderful, easily one of the most beautiful and romantic dining locations in Jamaica, and you have to try their signature dish, the jerk chicken penne pasta, but everything is delicious. With the exception of being so far from Sangster International, and they do offer airport shuttles for a fee, no beach, and the 12 and up guest rule again, this is a pretty flawless property. It's getting a lot of word of mouth recently as one of the most romantic and luxurious properties in Jamaica and even the Caribbean. And I have to agree, it's beautiful and makes for a wonderful stay, making it my #1 adults-only property in Jamaica. So I hope you enjoyed my first ever adults-only resorts video for Jamaica, and if you have a preference for adults-only properties and would like to see more, please let me know by giving a thumbs up and a comment on which location you'd like to see me do a top 10 for next. This is Vanessa for Passport Pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye, guys.